What's up everybody, Corey with Freaky Tech Reviews here. Apple's event earlier this week was absolutely insane, showcasing major upgrades of hardware and software across all products and unveiling a new product that is very interesting from them. To help humans take another step towards our eventual existence as the people from WALL-E, Apple showcased their new Apple Vision Pro headset that uses augmented reality to further reduce the need to ever leave your home again. For those unfamiliar, augmented reality differs from virtual reality because instead of completely transporting you into another environment, AR allows you to use the environment around you as your surroundings with all of the functions that you would find on your phone or computer. An example of this would be sitting on your couch with whatever TV size you'd like to watch, or sitting at an empty desk with multiple monitors displayed virtually in front of you. And their new headset is actually called a mixed reality headset because there are some virtual reality aspects to it that we'll talk about in just a little bit. This is a fascinating move by Apple because they're not really known as a risk-taking company when it comes to technology anymore, and it seems like they're usually focusing on taking existing tech and making it even better. The last time I feel like Apple made a huge splash with innovation was back in 2007 when they unveiled the first iPhone. But with that said, augmented reality really isn't even that new, and there's a lot of different headsets that have it. A famous example of this would be the Google Glass experiment from back in 2013 that got discontinued. And in fact, augmented reality exists all around you in ways you might not think about, such as Pokemon Go and similar games, where it shows the Pokemon on your screen sitting somewhere on what your phone's camera is physically seeing, or using something like Amazon's Room Decorator to see what furniture or decorations will look like in your space before purchasing. AR has actually been around since before the internet even existed and was created by computer scientist Ivan Sutherland in 1968. So a big question is, what makes Apple so keen to showcase a product like this in 2023? If we look at the augmented reality market currently, it's on track for an expected growth of 31.5%, going from a collective value of $22.5 billion in 2021 up to $88.4 billion by 2026, mainly due to people being stuck at home at first and then wanting to stay home but not feel like they have to stay in one spot all the time. The Apple Vision Pro allows users to either use the space around them to modernize their office technology or even completely transport themselves by changing the environment entirely so they can work from anywhere. The headset will use the power of the recently released M2 chip from Apple, but it will also have a new mixed reality specific chip called the R1 chip. Apple also created Vision OS, a new operating system just for augmented reality, and it will have dual 4K micro OLED displays with roughly 23 million pixels for each eye, and Apple says that it can fit 64 pixels on these displays in the same space that an iPhone screen fits one single pixel. This could quite possibly eliminate the screen door effect that you get from a lot of different virtual reality headsets, which is a fantastic benchmark. So as more companies start to create different types of headsets, maybe we can remove that altogether. And if you're not sure what the screen door effect is, when your eyes are so close to the screens on a VR headset, you can actually almost see the individual pixels, and it kind of gives you the effect of looking through a screen door. And in a very Apple style, it has a very minimalistic design with just a single knob on the headset, as most of your control will be with your eyes, hands, and voice. It has a glass front with an aluminum frame containing 5 sensors and will use 12 cameras to see the world around you. And while it does cover your eyes, Apple addressed this with a new function called Eyesight that automatically shows someone walking into your view nearby, and it'll virtually recreate what your eyes look like so they can actually talk with you while you have the headset on. Apple also mentioned during their showcase that it'll fit seamlessly into their ecosystem, which I'm a huge fan of. You can simply open your MacBook or iPad as a starting point to work and type with, but then you can use the headset for bigger screens. One thing to note is that the headset doesn't have its own internal battery, but instead uses an external battery that gives up to 2 hours on a full charge. In my opinion, this feels extremely limiting because most of the use cases that Apple showed was watching movies or productivity or watching sporting events that are going to go longer than 2 hours. So hopefully this is something that they're going to work on before it actually comes out. They also showed how well FaceTime works and how the headset scans and recreates your face with a virtual avatar for those that you're talking to. I did link Apple's full 2-hour event in the description below, and the last 40 minutes of it is where they go over all the aspects of the Vision Pro. Now, this headset starts at $3,500. It's really tough to say right now if it's worth it or not because that is an extremely steep starting point. And there's also no data on what the more expensive models will even have, and we won't know anything until the first headsets come out, and what Apple says will be early 2024. We'll see if they actually stick to that or not. This is a very ambitious project, so we'll see if it gets delayed or if it stays on time. A couple questions I already have on this headset are third-party app support and overall system power and performance. I edit off of Apple's Final Cut Pro and absolutely love it, and being able to edit and have more monitors available at the same time would be fantastic. And for app support, of course, Safari was mentioned, a lot of the native Apple apps, but I am curious to see how much of the App Store will be accessible. For instance, will it be limited for some apps, such as the difference between iPad apps and MacBook apps because of their respective operating systems? There was also a presentation from Disney's CEO Robert Iger that showed a new partnership that brings Disney to life inside the headset. If you've been watching my channel, you know I'm not a big fan of gimmicks, so I'm not going to hold my breath on this feature because I don't think it's going to be something that makes you want to buy the headset specifically, but I am very excited at the thought of being able to watch live sporting events and feel like you're actually in the stadium. This is something that I've wanted in VR for a very long long time, so that is an immediate selling point for me if that's the case. At this point, it's really tough to say what to expect with this headset, but either way, this is a major broadcast from Apple on what could be Tim Cook's last Apple news event. And with the very recent failure of Meta and the metaverse, I'm really curious to see how much demand actually circulates around this headset, especially because it's so expensive. I mean, just recently I've been seeing that the MetaQuest 2 sales have been dropping dramatically, and that's at a very affordable price point, and they can't even sell their MetaQuest Pro at $1,000. So $3,500, I just don't know how many people are actually gonna be able to afford that and use it. And also, if it's tied exclusively to the Apple ecosystem, that works great for someone like me who has all of that and absolutely loves it. But for the average person, can they use it as a standalone device without any other Apple product? That's gonna be a big selling point. But let me know below what you think about this headset. I'll be down in the comments with you chatting about this thing because I'm super curious about it and I really wanna know what you think. Also, let me know in the comments below if you'd like a summary of the Apple event, because it is a 2-hour thing and I'd love to summarize it for you, but only if there's interest. But if you've made it this far into the video, I hope that you will consider subscribing. I'm trying to hit 500 subscribers by August and we're well on our way, and your support would mean a ton to me if you join the family. But thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate you being here. Again, I'm Corey with Freaky Tech Reviews. I'll see you next time.